Hey peeps, happy Tuesday. Today is November 30th. You should be working on 5.3 slope intercept day one. It should say ID 26. Okay, so I know sometimes subs mix it up, so make sure that that's the sheet that you have today. Um, okay, today we're going to be doing slope intercept form. Okay, so this is slope intercept form, and I'm going to write all the formulas that you're going to need on the board for you. That way you can see them, okay? But this is slope intercept form. We got y equals mx plus b, okay? These notes, you're going to need them, okay? So our m is our slope, okay? Our b is going to be our y-intercept. Okay, and we've already kind of done this. We did this with that $10 an hour. Okay, our slope is our rate of change or our constant thing, our for each. Okay, for each day that I'm at school, I get good grades or whatever. Okay, so for each hour that I work, I make $10. Our y-intercept is our starting point or our initial amount. Okay, and so I would love to be able to just write all your notes down at once, but some of the things are different for some. Okay, so on this first one, it says find the slope of each line and the y-intercept, okay? So our slope, we use the letter M. Our y-intercept, we use the letter B, okay? So if we're looking at number one, my slope, okay, goes at the part with the x. And so it's going to be this part. And it's really important that we don't put that x, okay? So my slope is negative 8 over 5, okay? And I'm sorry because my 8's sloppy. And my y-intercept is going to be negative 4, okay? If it's anything other than a plus, we have to make sure that we include it. So we need to write negative 4. And that's all we're doing on these ones, okay? If we look at 3, my slope, or my m, is what? Okay, well, what number is in front of the x? Okay, well, there's really a 1, okay? And there's a negative there, so my slope is going to be negative 1. My y-intercept, or my b, is going to be negative 2. Okay, 5, my slope, okay, do we have a slope? No, we don't, okay? And so some people want to say 0, okay, but, or you can say, I think some people say undefined, definitely, and so we're going to talk about that more when I get back, but the B is definitely negative 5, okay? So the M, just leave it there like that, and we'll talk more about what different kinds of slopes look like, okay? Okay, so take a second and do 7 by yourself. Okay, pause it, do 7 by yourself. Okay, so my B should equal negative 3. My M, or my slope, is negative 1 over 4. Okay, these ones, they want us to write slope-intercept form. And I'm going to ask you 150 million times because you're going to have them memorized what is slope-intercept form. Okay, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, and so that is what my answer should look like. Slope-intercept form, okay, is y equals mx plus b. And so in this one, rather than finding them, they want you to write it out like that. Okay, so I know I'm going to have y equals, what is my m? Well, my m is 1, so we're going to say 1. I know I should have an x, plus my y-intercept is the b, okay, and so that's 0. And so this is my answer, okay? That's in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Okay, so 11 should say y equals, what's my slope? 3 over 4 x plus, what's my y-intercept? Or my b is 2. Okay, I got y equals, what's my slope? Okay, my slope is negative 1, x plus My y-intercept, or my b, is 3. Okay, turn your page, take a second, and try to do 15 by yourself. Okay, so my slope is negative 1/3 x plus my y-intercept is 3. Okay, 17. These ones, they want you to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of each line, okay? So I gotta write you some notes on here. I'm gonna write them in between here, but leave a little room so you can do the work down here. Okay, so my slope-intercept form, okay, is y equals mx plus b, okay? This is called the y-intercept, okay? It's our starting amount, okay? And if we think about an intercept, okay, and I know my first period got quite a few football guys, okay, so don't think too in depth about the definition, because I do not play football, but if I were to throw a pass to Jared, okay, and somebody comes in and blocks it, that is intercepted, okay? He got in between me and him. And so this is really where it crosses the Y line, okay? You got to make sure you're looking at the Y line though. Okay, and our slope, we did that yesterday. Okay, so our slope is going to be, this is our slope, and it's rise over run. Okay, and that is really our up down over our left right. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do is find the y-intercept first, okay? So we're gonna have this formula, y equals, and we don't know our m yet, so you can leave like a blank spot. X plus our b is also gonna be a blank there, okay? I drew these little dashes for blank, blank. Okay, so you always find the b first. Okay, so maybe draw on here a little note, but you need to find this one first. Okay, and so we go to the y line, right here's our y line, and we start going down and we say, well, where does it cross? You can see that if you start traveling down, it crosses right here. Okay, and we say, well, what is that? Well, that's 1, okay, positive 1. So you can fill in the y-intercept at 1. Okay, now here's where the tricky part. You need to find the next closest point to this point. So you're gonna start traveling on the line. Okay, now, we can't pick like a point like here. It's gotta be like in between crosshairs, okay? So, it should be right here, okay? You can see that that line goes exactly through this spot, okay? It goes exactly through, just like that. So I wish I could zoom in, but I can't. So that's going to be your point. And so now you can do just like we did yesterday. When you have 2 points, you can count how much do you rise, how much do you run. And so we can say, well, we rise 1, 2, 3, and we run 2. Okay, and then the last thing you need to say, well, is this positive or negative? Okay, well, my top arrow is in this box, and if you were not here yesterday, you need to go back through. Sub should have all the papers. They're all on the black cart, and do yesterday's sheet before you try to do today's sheet. If you miss any days this week, you're going to have to do everything you missed before you can try to do these. Okay, if you haven't done any slope, you're going to not be able to do this. Okay, so do yesterday's sheet first before you try to do this. Okay, because otherwise it probably does not make much sense to you when we're talking about the positive and negative lines. Okay. And so this is what we got. We got our y-intercept form, slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. My y-intercept is 1, and my slope is 3/2. Okay, so let's look at this one. We find our y-intercept first, and you can say y equals blank x plus blank. Okay, so we find the y first. So we find the y line, and you start traveling down until it crosses. Okay, and we can see that it crosses right here at 4. So we fill that in. Okay, now you need to find the next closest point. Okay, there are multiple options here, but you could choose this one. Okay, you see how it's going right through? You could choose this one. Okay, but you want to find the closest. Okay, so whether you use this one or this one is totally fine. Okay, so you're going to count how much do you rise, how much do you run. Okay, so we rise 1 and we run 1, 2. Okay, and we say, well, is that a positive or negative line? Okay, and in this one it's positive. Okay, so my slope-intercept form is y equals 1/2 x plus 4. Okay. I got to start another video, so I'll start on 21. So load the other video.